Bhutan, the country at the center of the Himalayas. Fabled land of Shangri-La. Earthly paradise. A permanently happy utopia. However, many Bhutanese people are distinctly unhappy. India must allow our passage. Bhutan is our homeland. It's more precious than my life. 17 years have passed. 1 out of 7 Bhutanese lives in a foreign land. The Bhutanese refugees, spread across 7 camps in eastern Nepal, have not been able to return for 17 years. When we visited one camp, the refugees explained their grief. If I have to die, I want to die in Bhutan. We don't want to die here. We don't want to live in Nepal, nor do we want to live in India. We want to die where we were born and where our identity is. Because the Bhutanese government does not recognize them as their citizen. This is a Bhutanese ID card. Our ID cards have been taken away. This is my ID card. I'm a Bhutanese citizen. I have a right to go to Bhutan. I must go, no matter what. The current king of Bhutan is from Tibet. It was only 150 years ago that the Tibetans migrated to Bhutan, whereas the Nepalese came to live in Bhutan 400 years ago. But 400 years' history has not been recognized. Once defined as illegal immigrants, the Bhutanese of Nepalese origin were expatriated to India across the border, who then deported them to Nepal. We had no intention of coming to Nepal. We didn't have any reason to do so. The Bhutanese government killed the people and burned the houses down all day and night. We couldn't even protest. We had no time to bring in the cattle with us like cows and chickens, and we had to run away, even when one child hadn't come home from school. All in all, more than 100,000 Bhutanese people of Nepalese origin left their homeland to avoid persecution, and they became refugees. Today, Bhutan still doesn't see these people as its citizens. What's worse is that they try to evict the remaining Bhutanese of Nepalese origin. Bhutan, the land of Shangri-La, but its door has been closed to these refugees for 17 years. They've lived here, in this makeshift camp built in a jungle. Of all kingdoms, of all On the 28th of May 2007, tens of thousands of people started demonstrating along the Mechi Bridge at the Nepal-India border, asking for a route home through the Indian border. The demonstrators were Bhutanese refugees who must go through India to be able to go home. It's exactly the same way along which they walked 17 years ago, when they were evicted from Bhutan. 15,000 refugees embarked on the long march home. But their journey was soon interrupted by the Indian security forces. They blocked the refugees' path with strong violence. People shot. How many times? Three. Casualties cropped up as the Indian forces started shooting. How many are shooting at you? 2. Where have you been shot? On my hip. Were they rubber bullets or real ones? Real bullets. India allowed these refugees to pass through its territory to reach Nepal when they were kicked out of Bhutan. But it would not allow them safe passage home again. In the course of the violent clashes, hundreds were wounded, and one person at the end was shot dead by the Indian security forces. This is the furthest refugee camp from the Mechi Bridge, where the family of the deceased lives. Fourth son of Mr. Siwa. The 18-year-old boy who went to Mechi Bridge, dreaming of going back to his homeland, came back as a dead body. His funeral was held according to Hindu custom, his body cremated before the whole community. His father shaved his head, according to Hindu custom. I think he died because he thought his death could make his parents get home. I think he thought it's worth dying if he could make that happen. India is blocking their way because it fears the loss of economic and political influence over Bhutan if it accepts the refugees' requests. India is blocking the refugees' path. They didn't block them coming to Nepal, but why are they blocking the way back home? It doesn't make sense. We've been urging India not to block them. India has done more than just block them. The refugee camp is full of people wounded by the gunfire of the Indian security forces. They suffer acute pain without painkillers. My father told me he didn't think I'd be able to come back alive. We felt lucky that I was at least alive when there was someone shot dead. We cried together. My father cried and I cried as well. He was lucky to be back alive. But for the rest of his life, he'll be maimed. Life at the camp will be much harder from now on. The refugees can do nothing but wait until the time comes to go back home. Our rights are being infringed by Bhutan and India right now. We are living a life that is worse than that of animals. Please help us escape this hell. We won't forget your mercy towards us for the rest of our life.